I can't get no satisfaction. You can sing along with me, but I try, 'cause I try and I try, or something like that, right? These guys, the Rolling Stones, can't get no satisfaction. Can you relate there at home? If you can, this message is for you. If not, you're already applying this message. So oftentimes people are looking for happiness and satisfaction from this life, but they're doing all the wrong things to get satisfaction. It reminds me of going to a dentist and telling the dentist that your tooth hurts, and the dentist says, okay, well, take some Advil, or here's a really strong painkiller. This will take care of it. You go, okay, isn't that just masking the pain, not really taking care of the problem? You're just, what are you doing? I need my tooth filled. I need you to drill in here, and I need you to, right? You want them to take care of the problem. So people can't get satisfaction oftentimes because they're pursuing satisfaction. You're like, I want to be happy, so I'm going to pursue happiness. Well, happiness and satisfaction are a byproduct of something else. Your tooth, the pain going away in your tooth, is a byproduct of something else. You can't just solve it by looking for anything you're desiring. You're just desiring for the pain to go away. So you go, give me something for the pain. Well, actually, it'd be better if we go to the source of the problem and figure out what's going on. And what's going on for each one of us is that we oftentimes are desiring the wrong things. God made us to desire Him, and when we fill ourselves with anything but Him, we're going to be left unsatisfied. We're going to be left disappointed. As the deer pants for water, so my soul longs for you. That's what the Bible tells us. As the deer pants for water, so my soul longs for you. When our souls are aligned with the Lord, when we're doing the right thing, what we truly desire, what we really need, is to long for Jesus. So as the deer pants for water, deer just wants water really bad, so my soul longs for you, O Lord. When your soul longs for Him, not for satisfaction. When your soul longs for Him, then you'll be satisfied. And today we're looking at verse 6. It says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Not blessed are those who hunger and thirst for happiness. Blessed happiness is for those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Now, I just looked down because I realized I left it in my office, but it's not that important. So if you have saltine crackers at home, if I've communicated with your group ahead of time, or if you have them in your house right now, grab a stack of about 10 saltine crackers. Have you guys ever done the saltine cracker challenge? Because this reminds me of hungering and thirsting. When I have seen people do the saltine challenge, so the saltine challenge is you take 10 saltine crackers and you try to eat them as fast as you can and get all of them eaten, completely eaten in 1 minute. It might sound easy until you've seen it done or you've tried it yourself. And if you can do it, I would love to see the video. Please send it to me. But 10 saltine crackers in 1 minute. You know what happens at the end of 10 saltine crackers in 1 minute? You are very, very, very thirsty for something. You want water. You want something liquid to get rid of the saltine thing going on in your mouth because it just absorbed everything and dried your mouth out. Even talking about it is kind of drying my mouth out, which isn't good because I need to finish this video. But we want to hunger and thirst for righteousness. So as bad as you want water after you've eaten saltine crackers in 1 minute, and you got that, that's how bad we want to hunger and thirst for righteousness. If you've gone several days without eating, and you just start getting, or several hours for something, right? You're like, I'm so hungry right now. When you're really, 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 really hungry, that's how much we should desire righteousness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied, or they shall be filled. So if you have the right appetite, the right desires, you're going to be filled. If you have the wrong desires, you won't be filled. So how do we get this right desire? So blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Who is the righteous one? Jesus. So blessed are those who hunger and thirst after Jesus, seeing Jesus in somebody's life. So blessed are those who hunger and thirst to see people saved, because righteousness comes when people are saved. Apart from Jesus, no amount of hunger and thirst for anything will bring satisfaction. If Jesus brings righteousness to us, because that's where righteousness comes from. All of our best works are filthy rags, according to the Bible, without Jesus. So blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. That means you want to see more Jesus in your life. That means you want to see more Jesus in other people's lives. So if you hunger and thirst for righteousness, you're hungering and thirsting for more Jesus. And without more Jesus, you're just going to keep panting and panting and panting, because our hearts are restless, as we looked at in week 1, until they find their rest in you. That's what Augustine tells us. Our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you. So we can oftentimes confuse our souls. We can confuse our spirits when it says, I hunger and thirst. So what I hunger and thirst for must be a good thing, right? Because that's what our society says. Our society says, whatever your heart wants, that's what you should go for. A heart wants what a heart wants, or whatever people say. They'd say all these different songs, all revolving around follow your heart, give your heart its desires. And when you follow your heart's desires, sometimes your heart is going to have wrong desires. So you can actually change the desires that God created in you, but you can also change them back and align them with the Lord. But a drug addict, for example, desperately longs for the next hit of that drug. Was he born wanting that hit of drug? Not unless his mother was a drug addict, probably. Probably wasn't born with this really strong desire for this drug. But you learn with this appetite, as you do more of this drug, whatever the drug is. It looks like I'm eating a drug. I don't know if you eat whatever the drug is. When you're doing this drug over and over and over, you start to create new desires in your heart. Now, your heart was supposed to be longing for Jesus, and you've replaced it with and messed with the wiring in your brain, and now you're longing for whatever sin your sin might be. The more we do it, the more we start to satisfy that flesh, and the stronger that flesh gets. It reminds me of this saying that I'm going to get wrong, but it's attributed to Native Americans. The Native Americans supposedly say that there's 2 dogs at war, fighting within every person. And you know which dog wins? The dog you feed. So if you've got the dog of the flesh and the dog of the spirit, and you're feeding your spirit more righteousness and more righteousness, you're going to want more and more and more righteousness. When you see Jesus moving in your friends' lives, you see Jesus moving in your life, you see Jesus moving in other people, you want more of it. You're like, oh, I long for more righteousness, and it's satisfying. But when you keep filling it with it doesn't say, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for more Netflix. But a lot of us, oftentimes, if we're honest, we're like, I just need one more episode. I hunger and I thirst for the next one. When are they going to release it? Right? You've changed the desire. That's not a good desire. You've changed your appetite by feeding the wrong thing. You're feeding your flesh, and your flesh gets stronger and stronger. So the opposite of hungering and thirsting for righteousness is hungering and thirsting for evil deeds. So if you hunger and thirst for evil things, like you want to see unrighteousness, like we see in the world and on TV, and oftentimes wherever Jesus is not actively moving, then we'll be unsatisfied. So if you hunger and thirst for evil deeds, you will not be satisfied. So I can't get no satisfaction. Well, it's probably because you're not supposed to be satisfied with the things you're trying to get satisfied with. They're going to bring you no ultimate satisfaction. Maybe some short-term satisfaction, like the Advil might mask the problem. You might get a little bit of short-term satisfaction, but ultimately you need to go to the heart of the problem, and the heart of the problem is the heart of man. And without Jesus in our hearts, we've got a lot of problems. So that's why the Beatitudes don't start with this one. They start with, blessed are the poor in spirit. Because first you need to get right with Jesus. You need to be poor in spirit, get right with Jesus, and then these things come next as we're growing in our walk with the Lord. So it reminds me of my son, Micah. He used to really, I think I've brought Micah up in every video so far, but he used to really like vegetable everything, until we introduced him to fruits. He's like, oh, veggies are so good. And then he tried fruit, and you're like, that's better. Veggies are good, fruits are better. So he was able to change his eating habits and change his desires. He didn't even know he desired this other thing. Sometimes we change our eating habits and we start desiring the wrong things because of what we've introduced into our lives. So start starving the one that's desiring the wrong things and try to change it to put the things in there that we should be desiring. So this is what Jesus says about this in John 7. And I'm already quoting Jesus by being in Matthew 5:6, but this is what Jesus also said in John 7:37. He says, Jesus stood up and cried out, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water." So if anyone thirsts, where should we go? To Jesus. So blessed are those who hunger and thirst for more Jesus, for you will be satisfied. They will be satisfied. Our next verse is Matthew 5:7. It says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." This is a really, really, really good one for relationships. And guess what? All of us are in relationships, not just with our spouse, with our kids, whoever it might be. Any relationship that you're in, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. When you give mercy, you're very likely to receive mercy. This is one of those reciprocal things where whatever goes around comes around. That's not always true, but with mercy, it often is. Mercy, this is what mercy is defined as. Some people define it this way: not getting what you do deserve. And that thing that you do deserve is something bad. And grace is getting something good you don't deserve. So getting something good you don't deserve, that's grace. Mercy is not getting what you do deserve. So you deserve eternal punishment in hell because we're sinners, but God gives us grace, and he gives us something we don't deserve, which is his mercy and his death on the cross for us. So in relationships, I think one good way to show mercy is to be quick to apologize. So if you can, in relationships, I can almost guarantee you've done something wrong, but some people say, but he's really hurt me. That's the point. That's the whole mercy thing. But he doesn't deserve it. No, they don't deserve it. That's the whole idea. That's the idea, yes. So apologize for what you can apologize for and make it easy for them. Be merciful in helping them to repent if you've had something done wrong to you. But the harder it is for you to be kind to your spouse or kind to your kids, the less likely they are to be merciful when you've done something wrong. And guess what? We've all done something wrong, and we're not done doing stuff wrong. So you're going to need mercy from your spouse. And if you want mercy from your spouse, start giving mercy to your spouse. If you want mercy from your coworkers, from your boss, from your kids, whoever it might be, boyfriend, girlfriend, how about start showing them mercy? Because you're going to need it, believe it or not. So this is what one pastor says about this passage. In the midst of our corrupt, ego-centered, and selfish society that tells us to grab everything we can get, the voice of God tells us to give everything we can give. The true character of mercy is in giving. Giving compassion, giving help, giving time, giving forgiveness, giving money, giving ourselves, whatever it might be. And I'm going to end with this illustration. A mother once approached Napoleon seeking a pardon for her son. The emperor replied that the young man had committed a certain offense twice and justice demanded death. But I don't ask for justice, the mother explained. I plead for mercy. But your son does not deserve mercy, Napoleon replied. Sir, the woman cried, it would not be mercy if he deserved it, and mercy is all I ask for. Well then, the emperor said, I will have mercy. And he spared the woman's life. Unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, meaning the most righteous people they knew of in this time, unless your righteousness, your good deeds, exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. You don't get the kingdom of heaven without Jesus' righteousness. So if you want to long for Jesus, you're longing for righteousness, that's how you'll be satisfied in this life. You can't get no satisfaction, Rolling Stones? I hope somebody shares Jesus with you, but you won't find satisfaction apart from Jesus. So you can try, and you can try, and you can try, but it's already been done. Jesus did it. Turn to him. All right, have a good week.